Everyone take a seat. Charlotte Water folks, if you could just hold back. I want to make sure that our guests have seats. Okay. All right, now everyone can fill in. Come on, quickly. Okay, now everybody wants to stay in the back. Okay, come on. Okay, let's get started. So good morning and welcome. I am Angela Charles, Director of Charlotte Water, and what a day, wonderful day to be united around water. It is my great honor to have you all join us today as we celebrate the groundbreaking of the new Stowe Regional Water Resource Recovery Facility. Wastewater management is a critical aspect of community infrastructure, and by expanding our capacity to treat wastewater effectively, we can unlock tremendous potential for growth, economic development, and environmental sustainability. The Stowe project really represents a collaborative effort between the City of Charlotte, working on behalf of Charlotte Water, the City of Mount Holly, and the City of Belmont. And we are showcasing today the power of regional partnerships. By pooling our resources together and our expertise, we ensure that our communities have the necessary infrastructure and treatment capacity to accommodate future wastewater flow projections. When communities come together and leverage their collective knowledge and resources, we can better manage and utilize this invaluable resource, including the Catawba River that borders our communities. By adopting a regional approach, we are setting a precedent for effective water resource management, not only benefiting our current residents, but also safeguarding the needs of future generations. Thank you for joining us today as we celebrate the Stowe project and its potential to transform our region into a model of effective wastewater management and environmental responsibility. To open this momentous event, I welcome our esteemed guests from the Catawba Nation to the stage for a traditional song performed by Rue George Warren, and then we will have opening remarks from the director of the Catawba Cultural Center, Dr. Winoa Hare, and then we will then have further recognition of our esteemed guests.
Come on, sky. Oh, well, well, well. few moments to get my glasses. I had a dream that I dropped them in the parking lot, and so good for you, not good for me. Tanake. Niyat Winona George Hare, and that's Catawba for my name is. Rue is one of our family members, and also helps with the language program at the Catawba Nation, and so he speaks a whole lot more Catawba than me. I'm stuck behind the desk on administrative stuff. Today I'd like to share some facts about an amazing resource that both North Carolina and South Carolina share, which is the Catawba River. The river has provided for the Nye Iswa river people for thousands of years, and we have relied upon the river for transportation, recreation, gathering of lithic materials, commerce, food, and clay. Many of our villages were along the river and its tributaries, as evidenced by 114-plus archaeological sites along the 30-mile scenic river corridor in South Carolina, plus there are numerous other sites in North Carolina. We gathered mussels, fish, shells, and plants found along the river. We also gathered clay from its banks. We have the distinction as being one of only a handful of tribes in the entire United States that continues to make pottery the same way our ancestors did before European contact. Many of the medicinal plants of our people were found along the banks and tributaries, and some still grow there today. Today, our people enjoy the river as a recreational resource as well. Excuse me. The water sustained the life of the fauna that we depended on as food stores, such as ducks, geese, and many other animals. The feathers of the birds that are along the corridor were near the river, such as American sycamore, river birch, and green ash, provided housing materials, wood for burning our pottery, and many other cultural uses. For those of you who do not know the direction of this amazing river source, I will give you a few updates. The Catawba Wateree Santee River begins its trek to the Atlantic Ocean near the base of Mount Mitchell, flowing past the town of Old Fort near the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina. Then it flows some 150 miles through 6 dams in the Piedmont region of North Carolina, crosses into the Piedmont of South Carolina, where it flows through Lake Wiley Dam. Then 30 miles through the Piedmont of South Carolina, and then 3 more dams as it crosses the fall line to join with Wateree Creek, where the river then takes its name from the creek and becomes known as the Wateree River. It then flows through the Lake Wateree Dam into a natural river segment until it joins with the Congaree River to form the Santee River. Continuing on, it flows through Lake Marion, and where it then can take 2 courses. One is a natural course, which is to continue flowing in the Santee River into the Atlantic Ocean. The other is an altered course, which is to provide hydropower and navigation to Charleston Harbor, which in that case it flows through Lake Moultrie to the Cooper River and then into the Atlantic Ocean. The concept of people, their reliance on the river and its tributaries, and its connectivity with nature was important for thousands of years and is still today. So let's take a few moments to reflect on the importance of the Catawba River to all of us. The Catawba River Basin is the most densely populated river basin in North Carolina, and in South Carolina there is a 30-mile segment which is designated as a state scenic river. And in order to be eligible, it must possess unique or outstanding scenic, recreational, geological, botanical, fish, wildlife, historic, or cultural values. Also, the level of pollution of a river's water must be considered. There were 16 river resource categories evaluated, and as a whole, this stretch of the river was rated as having superior resources of statewide or greater significance in 5 categories, which were timber management, undeveloped land, utilities, industrial, and natural features. It had outstanding resources of regional significance in 2 categories, which was water supply and inland fisheries. The local significance was found in 5 categories: historic and cultural, flatwater boating, backcountry boating, recreational fishing, and wildlife habitat. Of the 30-mile stretch, approximately 28 river miles are visually free of human development and provide a setting where natural conditions surround the river along most of the river's length. The river hosts high natural resources value, as evidenced by the Rocky Shoals spider lily community, riverine and levee forest habitats, and Piedmont forest communities. And there's a well-known sunflower, which I can never remember how to pronounce his name, and the Georgia aster, the butternut, the American ginseng, Canada moonseed, hairy sweet Sicily, thrush, mink, scarlet tanager, southern fox squirrel, and American woodcock, and South Carolina's endangered bald eagle are just some of our neighbors, so to speak, that inhabit the area surrounding the Catawba River. As you can see, this is an amazing resource that meets countless needs of both humans, flora, and fauna. It is easy, since we live along this river, to sometimes take it for granted. We must never fall into the trap of complacency in protecting this river resource that we have been blessed for thousands of years. Nor must we assume that our actions or our individual projects won't have an impact. So how can we reduce our negative impact to the Catawba River and its tributaries? Here's some thoughts. Many moons ago, I was part of a process called the Duke Energy Catawba Watery FERC relicensing, mouthful. When I started out, I was just thinking about myself as a Catawba and what our interests would be. As I went on, it came to me that we had governments, municipalities, private landowners, recreation participants, cultural and historical interests, governments like South Carolina DNR, North Carolina Fish and Wildlife representatives, and many other working collaboratively for the preservation and betterment of this resource. Some of the ideas that came out were quite new and different to me, like fish elevators. I've never heard of a fish elevator. I can't wait till we have a groundbreaking for a fish elevator. Cleaner water, control access to the river. Another thing to consider are buffer zones. They're very important. They filter runoff from farms, land, industry, etc. This is voluntary, but it is the right thing to do because it's nature's way of cleaning up the water before it re-enters. Another thing that I recently learned was a little plant known as river cane, not bamboo, river cane. It filters out nitrates and groundwater phosphates and keeps topsoil and nutrients in place. And it has a dense network of root system. So when used as a buffer along the river's edge, nothing is going to erode back into the river. This Stowe Regional Water Resource Facility is building a new state-of-the-art wastewater treatment facility to serve northwestern Mecklenburg County and the cities of Mount Holly and Belmont. It is utilizing a design to benefit the natural environment by purifying wastewater with innovative treatment practices. It strives to make sure that water from the facility will meet higher standards than when taken out, when it's put back in. That is extremely important. If all industries were to think about that little step, then the water in the river would be able to last for thousands of more years in the state that it is. We also need to remember that river is also impacted by gravity. Simple thing. What happens upstream eventually finds itself downstream. We owe it to the river and to each other to collaborate and be respectful of this river. Don't just think of your actions as your right or your business. We are all a part of this resource, and we owe it to future generations, and as neighbors, we need to work collaboratively to protect the Catawba River and its tributaries. In closing, whenever you react with the river, ask yourself a simple question. Is what I am about to do or accomplish going to be adding a negative impact to the river? This is a simple question, but it drives, and it should drive, everything we do. Something as simple as throwing trash in the river as a single individual. That's a cumulative effect. If you don't believe me, just ask the Catawba River Keeper and find out how much trash they pick up on a yearly basis. So remember, we all are working together, utilizing this river, and we're very blessed to have this river. And it is very unique because you can go to a lot of other states and they don't have what we have. They don't have the beauty, the peace. They don't have the ability for industry to thrive. They don't have recreational activities like we do and still look at the beauty while you're exploring the recreation. But we won't have it if we take it for granted. Hawo.
thank you, Dr. Hare, for sharing your knowledge and history with us. And Ruth, thank you for sharing your beautiful song. I would now like to take a moment to acknowledge our elected officials and government leaders from across this region who have joined us here today. From the city of Charlotte, we welcome Mayor Vilaus. You wave your hand, or she's up here on the podium. Mayor Pro Tem Braxton Winston. At-large Council Member LaWanna Mayfield. From Mecklenburg County Board of County Commissioners, we have Commissioner Elaine Powell, Vice Chair. We have Commissioner Susan Rodriguez McDowell, Commissioner Laura Meyer. Welcome Mayor Pro Tem Phyllis Harris, Jonathan Wilson, Utilities Director, Interim City Manager Danny Jackson, and Assistant City Manager Brian DuPont. Thank you, Mount Holly, for being here. From Belmont, I see City Manager Miles Braswell. Did Charlie make it? Charlie did not make it, but thank you all to the City of Belmont for being here and other officials for being here. Congressman Jeff Jackson's office did send their regards, and Congressional aide Devontae Wilson, did he make it here? If he did not, they did send regards. We also have Barbara Blywis, Mecklenburg County Soil and Water Conservation Supervisor, elected official. Have I missed any other elected officials? Because we definitely want to thank you for your continuous support of water in the region. Although Senator Tom Tillis could not be here today, he did send a letter to our office, and he is saying, "Dear friends, I am pleased to extend my best wishes to everyone gathered to celebrate the Stowe Regional Water Resource Recovery Facility. While the Senate schedule prevents me from attending today's event, I would like to recognize the impact the facility will have on Mecklenburg and Gaston counties. The new wastewater treatment facility will allow this region to continue to grow while providing public green space and community amenities for generations to enjoy. I appreciate everyone who has contributed to this project, and I wish you all the best for a wonderful event." And it's signed Tom Tillis, U.S. Senator. So thank him for that. I would also like to recognize special guests we have with us from other agencies. From Southeast Region, United States EPA Region 4 Chief of Staff John Nicholson. He's up here on stage. From North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality, we have Shadi Escaf, Director of Water Infrastructure. He's here on stage. Corey Basinger, Division Manager, and Kathy Ackroyd, Public Information from DEQ, North Carolina DEQ. Thank you guys for coming. Charlotte Water Advisory Committee members. Our advisory committee members are appointed by the City Council and Board of County Commissioners. We have Barbara Blywis and Gordon Miller. Both are here. They are appointed by both boards. Former Charlotte Water Director Barry Gullett, he carried on the vision. Representing Catawba Water Remanagement Group, Vice Chair Jeff Lineberger, Duke Energy, Catawba River Keeper. We hope John is here. If not, John has been a partner with us on this project, and we thank him for his support. To the family of Joe C. Stowe Jr., for which this facility is named, we have Jay, his son, Jim's wife, Kristen, and Caroline. Thank you for allowing us to honor Joe and his legacy. You guys will raise your hand. Those are Mrs. Stowe's family. And again, I have to mention our city manager, Marcus Jones. You know, it's so much going on in our city, so we kind of divide and conquer. But we do want to thank Marcus Jones, Charlotte City Manager, for his continuous support of Charlotte Water and for water resources in our region. I now invite Mayor Lyles to the stage to share her remarks about the regional partnership on display today and how our collaboration will support the continued growth of our communities. Mayor Lyles.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming out to this event. I can't recall that I've ever seen the opening of a Charlotte Water project with this many people celebrating the right idea. But I want to say thanks to Dr. Hare. I know that that story is our history and how much we have to respect. What you've been talking about throughout that commentary was sustainability. And that is so very important, and I think it is a value that we all have and should continue to have. And thank you for reminding us of that. Rue, of course, she did an exceptional job. So, again, another hand for them. Now, Rue is her nephew. I just want you to know that. They've got a family thing going on here, so I want you to understand that. I want to thank Angela Charles. You know, Barry and I actually had the wonderful opportunity to work with Joe Stowe, so he was truly special. But Barry also was someone that we worked with for a long time. So I want you to know that you have left a precious and a wonderful organization that Angela Charles runs. So guys in the back, everybody, let's give Angela Charles a hand. Sometimes we forget to celebrate those that are most important, the people that come out every day and make things possible for the city. So I know how important the employees of Charlotte Water are to this community. Now, you know, we often talk about and see our police officers and our firefighters, and, you know, they're very visible. They've got equipment, they're running through, they're rescuing people, they're making people feel safer. But Charlotte Water is actually a key component of having a safe community, a safe region. So for all of the Charlotte Water people that you guys didn't want to come and sit up front, like Angela asked you to, that know that we believe in the work that you do, and without you, none of this is possible. Please give our employee team at Charlotte Water a hand. So there are a lot of thank yous to be had when you're in this role that I have. But I want you to know I couldn't do this work without the cooperation and collaboration of other elected officials that you have chosen to lead the way in the work that we're going to do and accomplish as a region. All of you that came this morning to celebrate and be aware, I recognized your strength and your talent makes this entire region better, and I'm sure we're going to hear that from our regional administration office, because today really is a celebration of regionalism. We're joined here by our partners, Mount Holly and Belmont, Mecklenburg and Gaston counties. 2 years ago, maybe even 3 years ago, I would have never thought that we'd be talking about a partnership with Mount Holly, Belmont, Mecklenburg, Gaston counties in the city of Charlotte. All of these organizations have stepped up to make this whole project possible. And without the support of the Catawba Nation, we recognize the Catawba River Keeper and the Catawba Lands Conservancy, the EPA, NCDEQ, we have amazingly gotten every permit on time and in place to get this thing done. So thank you all of that for doing this work. The support in planning and development of this transformational regional facility is because of all of us working together. This project will connect Charlotte with neighboring cities of Belmont and Mount Holly through an unprecedented regional partnership for Charlotte Water, formalized through interlocal agreements, but made possible because of shared commitment to sustainability and clean water. It is so important because if we're not the fastest growing, we are probably one of the fastest growing regions in this country. When the planning for this project began 20 years ago, imagine 20 years ago, the population of the Stowe service area was projected to increase by 136% from 2014 to 2034. That's nearly 2.5 times the people that we're going to be serving. And that is the challenge that our region has today and will have tomorrow. No matter what type of infrastructure we're looking at, the growth is coming. And so how are we going to accommodate that growth? The Charlotte Metrolina region is not a challenge of any one jurisdiction. We must collaborate. Now, that doesn't mean that we're always going to agree, but I think we can understand that we can come to some kind of consensus because we all have the mission to be the best city in this country. And I believe that. The best city in this country makes for the best region in this country. And why not go for the best? Why not be that? So as we continue to do this and develop transformational solutions, as Charlotte Water has done, to deliver cost-effective, common-sense solutions, to invest in our state-of-the-art infrastructure for our future generations, someone gave us this gift, and we must pass it along. You know, I looked out and I told Angela that I was seeing the earth-moving equipment that you can see all around. And there are only 2 places that I've seen this kind of equipment. It's Charlotte Douglas Airport and now Charlotte Water. So let's think about as we continue to develop, because as mayor of Charlotte, I am honored to just be a small part of what we can do to build a great region. I think Charlotte Water has done a phenomenal job. Our airport has done a phenomenal job. Now let's think about how we can continue that effort and do a phenomenal job with mobility in our city, our county, our region. All of this is the things that make it possible for us to grow, but more importantly, it makes it possible for the next generation to live. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Mayor Lyles, and thank you for your support. On the note of regional growth, I would like to welcome John Nicholson to the stage. John is the Chief of Staff for the EPA's Southeast region and traveled from Atlanta to reflect on the importance of this project in supporting the region's water quality. John.
Thank you, Angela, and Mayor, it's tough to follow you. Good morning, everybody. It is so great to be back in North Carolina. I'll give you a connection to that here shortly. Major Lyles, thank you. Major.
Major.
Should be Major General. Should be. Thanks for your leadership and vision for the city of Charlotte. We know that you are a firm and solid supporter of the environment and what it means to the health and welfare of our people. For those of you who don't know, the mayor is also a close friend of my boss, Administrator Michael Regan. So there's a great connection with EPA and Charlotte. Director Charles, Angela, to you and your team, I had the pleasure of riding over in a bus from your offices this morning and got to know, and it was great to see the camaraderie and the friendship and the excitement from Charlotte Water today. So that was fun. And Dr. Hare, your comments, spot on for the first Americans, what the land means to you and to all of us. Thank you. And on behalf of my new boss, Acting Regional Administrator Janine Gettle, I'm honored to participate today. Just as some background, EPA Region 4 covers North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, and Kentucky, as well as 6 federally recognized tribes, of which the Catawba Nation is a close partner of ours. Prior to coming to EPA, I'm coming back to the North Carolina story now. I've been at EPA for a year and a half now. For 5 years, I was the Chief Deputy Secretary at North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality. So I worked real close with my colleague sitting here next to me. And while my primary place of duty now is out of my Atlanta office, I still call Pittsboro, North Carolina home. So it's good to be back in North Carolina today. I maintain a close personal relationship with Secretary Beiser and the professionals at North Carolina DEQ. And my colleagues in the other states in the region now give me a hard time that I always say, well, you know, North Carolina does it this way. But I stand firmly on North Carolina's record of environmental protection and support to the community, and I think events like this today are indicative of what we do in North Carolina. I know we have some friends from South Carolina here, so I'll toss you in there. And then my colleague here, Mr. Shadi Escaf, and the members of his team at the Division of Water Infrastructure, I will have to say that's where I received my initial Water Infrastructure 101 as I embarked on an environmental career. And I learned a ton from him, his colleagues, and his predecessor, a gentleman named Mr. Kim Colson. I need to share with y'all, and if you don't know this, North Carolina is a recognized leader in this front and advocating for water infrastructure and updating and improving our aging water infrastructure systems. And again, I think it's something that all of us should be proud of and where we're headed in the future. So now I get into my role at EPA. The mission of the Environmental Protection Agency is very succinct. It's to protect human health and the environment. Our guiding principles are follow the science, follow the law, be transparent, advance justice and equity. Now, of course, that simple mission statement has a laundry list of things that go with it that we all know how mission statements go. But for the purpose of today, and I will tell you, it is a top priority of Administrator Regan and EPA, is specified goal number 5 within our strategic plan is to ensure clean and safe water for all communities. And the 2 subsets are ensure safe drinking water and reliable water infrastructure, and protect and restore water bodies and watersheds. Much of the network of water treatment plants, distribution lines, sewer lines, and storage facilities were built around World War II, and most of that infrastructure is now approaching 100 years old. As an agency and as a region, we know that changing economics and demographics, just here in the Southeast alone, we find once self-sustaining smaller systems are suffering significant financial loss in their systems, and financial models that worked well in the past don't live up to today's standards and expectations. I think we also know historically investment has not been enough to meet the ongoing need to maintain these new systems. And through the efforts of President Biden, when the bipartisan infrastructure law was passed in late 2021, more than $50 billion, that's with a B, was allocated to EPA to improve our nation's drinking water, wastewater, and stormwater infrastructure, the single largest investment in water that the federal government has ever made. These are historic times, folks. I hope that doesn't sound trite, but this is a generational opportunity that we have right now, and you all are out leading the front, and I couldn't be prouder. Having said that, I also realize a portion of this project planning went back quite a few years. Didn't just happen yesterday. These projects take a lot of time to develop, plan, coordinate, and I think, Mayor, where I'm going to hit now is what you were hitting on. We are highly reliant here at EPA and within the region with our state and local partners. We can't do our jobs without our state and local partners. How you all manage, operate, and resource your respective water infrastructure is critical. And I should also add how you cooperate and coordinate. This is probably the largest challenge. I'm here today celebrating a successful, looks like good joint combined cooperation. I can tell you it's not that way everywhere else in our country. When I worked in the state, I constantly had to remind myself to ask the community what they saw as their needs. Where did they need help? And who knows better than your system requirements than the folks that live in the community that work in the system to listen. And that, now I find myself in the federal government, and where do all good ideas come from? Washington, right? It's a I won't say a constant battle. That's probably not a good choice of words. But we have to serve at the region to constantly remind the headquarters in Washington that the states have a vote. And as a region, we have a very good partnership with our states. We strive to be able to understand what is keeping you up at night and how best can we bring the tools and the resources that we have to help you accomplish those goals. So at the regional level, it all boils down to partnering with our state and local communities to help them meet and satisfy your needs. Seeing the cooperation here today between the City of Charlotte, the City of Belmont, the City of Mount Holly, the counties, in your work towards this solution is inspiring and can serve as a role model for us to take back within Region 4 to share with other folks that are going through these situations. I believe we should also recognize and appreciate the long hours of hard work and sweat equity that went in this project. I'm sure there's many amongst us today with some good stories to tell, and I'm sure there's some underlying challenges out there still to conquer that you'll all work through. But the bottom line is today, you're breaking ground, placing water infrastructure on a sustainable path, and leaving a legacy of community well-being that passes on to future generations. Congratulations. Thank you for inviting me to participate in today's events.
Thank you, John, and thank you for traveling from Atlanta to be with us today. Next, I invite Shadi Escaf from the North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality to reflect on the states, and then when I say the states, that's the state of North Carolina, investments in water infrastructure. Shadi.
Thank you very much, Director Angela Charles, and thank you very much, Mayor Lyles as well. Thank you for inviting us to be part of this celebration. I'm very excited to be here. Thank you, Dr. Hare and Rue, for your celebration as well. And John, it's great to see you again, and thank you for inspiring leadership, at first at DEQ and now with US EPA Region 4. We're so glad to continue that partnership with EPA as well. But most importantly, I would like to thank again everybody from Charlotte Water, from City of Mount Holly, City of Belmont. If y'all could just raise your hands, just want to see how many of you all are here, and just say thank you so much for all the work that you're doing for this project. Greetings everybody here assembled today. I know you all recognize that this is indeed a really fine day. It's a great day today, not just for today, but also for the future. We're celebrating what's coming down the line as well. It's a day full of anticipation, pride, and promise, and again, celebration. Congratulations to all who've been involved in this state-of-the-art facility, from the idea stage to this day, where we're taking the first steps in making it a reality. You all are taking first steps in making this a reality. The facility is designed to protect the natural environment in many ways. The project will be of great benefit to the city of Charlotte, but as well to several communities in the region. It's a model of collaboration between multiple jurisdictions. And that's really important for the state of North Carolina. It's right to take this time to reflect on this collaboration, to marvel at the outcome of many hands and many minds working together. At the North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality, we provide science-based environmental stewardship for the health and prosperity of all North Carolinians. And in DEQ's Division of Water Infrastructure, we help finance projects that improve water quality, from drinking water distribution to stormwater management to wastewater treatment systems. Our division is about finding solutions, financing solutions. We work together with North Carolina's communities to help towns and cities become viable and resilient, ready for the growth that we just heard about, that you're seeing in this region and in other regions in the state. Also to provide for increased economic opportunities, better health for all, and a higher level of water quality and protection for our precious North Carolina environment, which is so dependent on our care. This is all part of the master plan for North Carolina's water and wastewater infrastructure, which was developed in concert with the State Water Infrastructure Authority. There's way too much in there to describe what's in the master plan. If you're interested, you can take a look at it on our website. But partnership is an important key, an important aspect of how we accomplish the goals for the state. The Stowe Regional Water Resource Recovery Facility is a very fine example to tough challenges. Regionalization is about efficiency. It's about doing more and getting more for less. And it benefits all the partners in ways that they cannot achieve on their own. As you will hear today, the Stowe project has other important ingredients as well. Energy efficiency, and that will result in reduced carbon footprints, increased capacity for overflows and impacts on sensitive environments, with sustainability always in mind. When you sum it up, this project has what we want to see every community aim for. It's carefully planned to make the facility ready for the challenges ahead. We are proud to be partnering. We are proud of partnering with North Carolina's local governments to help provide viable and resilient water infrastructure for their communities. We're excited to be part of this important project by working with the regional partners, cities of Mount Holly and City of Belmont, on their financing needs through the Clean Water State Revolving Fund, which is seeded through the EPA as well, to build on the success of this impressive facility. Finally, thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today. It's very satisfying to be here with you and enjoy the culmination of many years of hard work, coordination, and planning. Congratulations on your stellar achievements.
Thank you, Shadi, and thank you for your support and for DEQ's support of this project, for this project. Okay, I would like to take a moment to briefly reflect on the long history about this project. Charlotte Water has been discussing the need for a facility as this since the 1970s. Over the past 15 years, Charlotte Water, along with our partnering local governments and state agencies, conducted various planning studies to understand the future wastewater needs of our growing region. These planning studies concluded that the most efficient, cost-effective, and environmentally friendly solution for the region would be for Charlotte Water to build a new wastewater treatment facility along the Catawba River in Mecklenburg County near the existing Lone Creek Pump Station, which can be seen from this site. These studies also recommended that Charlotte Water partner with the cities of Belmont and Mount Holly to retire their aging wastewater treatment plants and implement a regional partnership for future wastewater management for our region. The City of Charlotte signed interlocal agreements with the City of Mount Holly and the City of Belmont to provide wastewater management services for Northwest Mecklenburg County and Eastern Gaston County. This project is transformational for this whole region. So when you think about how we utilize our water resources, they are best managed regionally. The Stowe project really brings three communities together: Mount Holly, Belmont, and of course Charlotte-Mecklenburg, to better use and manage this great resource that we have. What is the greatest resource in our community? We are bordered by the pristine Catawba River. So anytime communities can come together and leverage and collaborate for the use and the reuse of this precious resource, is just what communities should be doing. The Stowe Regional Water Resource Recovery Facility is named in honor of Joe C. Stowe. His 53-year career exemplified leadership, innovation, and commitment in the water and wastewater industry. Joe's vision and expertise led to a 50% expansion and successful merger, creating a thriving regional partnership known as Charlotte Water. His programs for safe water, accessibility continue to serve as a model for North Carolina. As a mentor to many, he provided equal opportunities for growth and inspired positive change in others. So today we celebrate his legacy by inaugurating this facility as a testament to his dedication to the Charlotte community. Thank you. Also, I want to thank numerous Charlotte Water employees, consultant team members, and stakeholders who all have worked diligently to get us here today. I would like to specifically recognize, and if you will stand or wave your hand so we know you're here, Deputy Director Ron Hargrove. He's that light on the inside. He hates being recognized. You see his face? Engineering Division Manager and Project Manager Nicole Bartlett, who is out on maternity leave, but she is here somewhere because I saw Nicole and the baby somewhere. So thank you, Nicole, for coming in. Project Manager Derek Dixon. We have, is Derek here? Thank you, Derek. I saw your hand. Owner's Advisor, HDR. Do we have folks from HDR here? And now let's talk about the contractors who are making this project a reality. We have joint venture of Crowder and Garney Construction and their engineer Hazen, who are completing the new Stowe facility. Are you guys here? I know I've seen many. Crowder, raise your hand. Garney and Hazen folks. Thank you. CDM Smith is designing the Stowe solids handling for this facility. Do we have folks from CDM Smith here? Okay, we saw a hand. All right. Haskell and their engineer Black and Beach are constructing headworks and EQ basins across Long Creek. Haskell and Black and Beach. I saw Brent back there. Blythe Development, who is constructing the bridge that many of you all drove across today. Do we have anyone from Blythe here? Thank you. And we had to construct the bridge to be able to do the groundbreaking. So that's why you see work going on, but we had to get the bridge, get everyone in here. And again, if we can, again, give that greater team a hand, if you will, for me. And it's lots of meetings, multiple meetings weekly to complete this project, and I look forward to the grand opening because it's really been a labor of love to get us to this point. So this concludes our groundbreaking, and so again I would like to thank you all for coming, and on behalf of 1,200 Charlotte water professionals who work in our community every day 24/7 365 days a year, I thank you for joining us today. We would like to have, before everyone leaves, pictures, if we can have all elected officials meet us over with the shovels. And we're going to take shots with elected officials and then our speakers, and then we will proceed accordingly. Thank you again, and everyone, enjoy your day.
solid. Perfect.
All right, you guys, look right here.
I took a little